All right. This is the final project, the big box, the store, the J.C. Penney's that you wanted. I'm gonna go ahead and do a video like you've been asking and see how that goes. What I got in front of me here is your assignment that you gave us. It tells me what companies I got coming, a little bit of a scenario from control. I got a piece of paper that I would use, that I'm using as my grease board. Basically, I just drew a square on there, put FDC marked north. I'm gonna try and keep track of where I stage my units. When I get done with this, I'll scan all these in that I wrote on and and give them to you so you see. I also got my command template from Unit 3, I think it was, the incident management, that I'm gonna follow and try to track this. I've studied these pictures a little bit. Not very much, just thinking some minor stuff. I haven't went through and looked at a scenario or thought it out completely, so I'm gonna try and make this as real as possible to where if I was to arrive on scene with it, what do I have to do and what's my thought process? That way I don't get to practice this. I just get a true evaluation of how I would do it. So I'll read off here. You're acting battalion chief on Battalion 1. It's Sunday, April 20th at 8 a.m. Way to set this place on fire on my anniversary and Hitler's birthday. That is great. Weather's 55 degrees and calm. General alarm is dispatched for J.C. Penney's at 1201 South Dirksen. The store is closed. Control advised they received call from the alarm company for the fire alarm and water flow and now are receiving multiple calls from passerbys. All companies are available and in quarters. My first alarm that I get, responding units would be Battalion 1, Engine 5, Engine 6, Engine 1, Engine 7, Truck 1, Truck 2, Squad 2. Battalion 1 is going to be first in. Some things that I know about this. You're telling me we got 4 good hydrants around here. These are going to be mains that are running down Dirksen Parkway that are actually pretty big. Water won't be an issue as long as I know that I hook up to different water sections instead of this, try to stay off the same direct lines. Looking at these pictures, as I show up coming from the west, driving down South Grand, I'm going to see fire or smoke in the sky, black smoke. When I get on scene, I'm going to make the alpha side and an announcement and say that the rear of the building is going to be the alpha side. All right, where the Battalion 1 is going to be alpha. We're going to go around Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. Make sure that that announcement is caught. I'm going to call it code 2 because we're going to go big water right away. I'm assuming we've already got that heavy smoke coming through the roof. The whole back of the store, I got black smoke pushing out on the Bravo and the Delta side, so I got enough smoke going out both sides. When I get there, I'm going to make my safety officer automatically go and be the Charlie Division. I want him in control of that, and I'm specifically going to tell him that when Battalion 2 gets on scene, I want him, Battalion 2 that is, to take over the Charlie Division and the safety officer go back into his role. I want the Engine 5 is going to be my first rig on scene. I want a 360 of this thing and know what I got. I want the driver to hook up to the FDC that I got there and a hydrant, and let's supply these sprinklers and try to keep the rest of this store from catching on fire. The back half is probably going to be a loss. I'm going to put Engine 5, Truck 1, and Engine 6 with me, and Engine 4 from my second alarm. I want Engine 7, Engine 1, Truck 2, Squad 2, and I get Engine 11. Battalion 2 on the Charlie side will be with them. I want them to report directly to them. I want the front of this building opened up. I want to see if there's any way that we can get in here about halfway and make a combination attack. I want both aerials up. Truck 1 and Truck 2 are going to get there pretty quick on top of each other. I want Truck 1, like I said, will be in the Alpha division with me. I want it set up in the rear on the Alpha side, get it up, and I want to flow big water into the back of this. It looked like we had a dumpster that was right by this back door. I want engine 5, the firefighter. After we get that off, we can pull off a hand line and get that out. I want to know if that came out that door or if it started in that trash can. That's big for me. If I know that that is from the inside out, that means we got a considerable amount of a fire in an unprotected steel building. I don't want anybody in there then, in that back for sure, because that's going to come down. We've got that whole back half filled with smoke. We even got smoke coming out on the front side. I want Truck 2, Battalion 2 will be running the rear division, or the Charlie side. I want their aerial set up on the front if we need it in case. I'm going to want a separate engine, whatever engine complement he's got. We're going to say 7. We're going to pull a hydrant from 7, supply Truck 2. That leaves me with engine 1 and engine 11 for Battalion 2 on the Charlie side. And that will leave engine 4 with me. I want engine 6 to supply my Truck 1 off a separate hydrant. If they're on all 4 sides of this building, I want opposing hydrants for these trucks to keep this as separate as we can. I want them to have their own water source, and I want them to have their own designated pumper. If we can knock this fire through the roof, or it's not through the roof, we just got a lot of smoke coming out of a vent stack, then I'm all for if we can get inside from the front and go towards the back with 2.5s if we have to. If we start looking from the front of this building through the Charlie side and there's major fire in this structure, we're not going in here. There's nothing in here. The building was closed. I also would like to know from my crews to make sure that the doors that we have tried, if they've been locked or unlocked. If they're unlocked and there's a heavy amount of fire, we're still not going to go in here and assume that somebody broke in or is inside this building. It's been closed. I'm not too worried about patrons being in here or employees. Ventilation. If I have to ventilate this structure, if we put this fire out and there's still significant amounts of roof and walls on here, I'm going to have that mobile ventilation unit from whatever Mavis company or Riverton or Sherman or whatever it is. I would be able to know a little bit better being on Battalion 1 where that's at the time. I would have to use that. None of the machines that we got fans are going to be able to ventilate this unit besides that one. RIT. My RIT team would be Squad 2. I would make them my RIT. Squad 2 is under Battalion 2. We need to keep informed if anybody's going in this structure at all. There's several doors all the way from on the exterior of this building on all levels, or on all sides, I should say. I would want to get them open. I want to know what we got. With backup lines, if we were able to make entry to this building, I would want it to be 2.5. So it would be very, very labor intensive. Of course, we would get some of the truck crew members that we would also help, and if we needed to, a third alarm, I could get 2 more engine companies, and by then I've got more chiefs on scene that I could break this down depending on what I need. My concerns for this building is a very large open space. and there's no pathways to this thing. We don't exactly know where they're at. We got clothes. You get towards the back of this, they actually have kitchen items in this. There's a lot of stock in between us and wherever this fire is if we're coming from the front going to the back. These are also going to be steel bar joists that are going to be unprotected. It's going to be sprinkled. Obviously, it hasn't been able to keep up with the volume of fire load that it's got in there. This is going to be a flat roof. We're going to have very heavy AC units or air handlers on top of this building. Collapse is what I'm worried about big time. I have no problem with keeping everybody out of this structure and putting it on the ground by using big water, and it's a complete loss for me. I don't want to lose any members just to go in there to put this fire out from the inside out. We've already got pretty significant smoke coming from the back of this, going straight up in the sky. To me, it looks like all the way big water for a start, and once we get the bulk of this fire knocked down, then maybe we can get in here and maybe get inside and mop this place up. Also, what I'm worried about is if we put this out with big water and it consumes the majority of this roof, and we do have any type of collapse of the roof system, these walls are only being held up by these steel bar joists that are up on top of the roof. So once these things collapse, these walls are going to be very unstable. There's no partition walls in there that are actually holding them up on the exterior walls. We have to worry about collapse zone all the way around this thing on all four sides, from the inside and outside. The utilities, I'm going to have major electrical here, more or less. None of the truck companies or any of us are going to be able to pull the electric meters. I'm going to have to call in the utility companies. I got to see if there's gas for this. Police presence. Depending on where these lines cross, I mean, if they're across South Grand or across Dirksen or whatever we got to do. Also, I would like to keep this parking lot blocked off so nobody can get in here. This is going to be a very large fire by the time it's over with, more than likely. We don't need any crowds going around. Thank God it's calm. If it's windy, I'm going to worry about fire spread from ashes and cinders and that. The good thing about this is there's really nothing around it but an open field behind us. It's usually short grass, so we're pretty good there. If I called in a third unit, I would probably go ahead and make sure that they stage their equipment out in this, or excuse me, a third alarm. I would put those units out in this parking lot away from the structure. We're more than likely not going to need them in the way we're just going to need them for manpower, for trading out. We're definitely going to end up calling a code M on this structure. I got a feeling that there's not going to be very much of it left except exterior walls. And I'm going to have to set up an extended rehab system here. I would utilize the administrative chiefs that are there. They're going to be able to get me a few more resources, and I'm going to utilize them with Division 1 or Division 1A, whatever we got, whether we call the Red Cross canteen, or make sure that we have ample amount of water for everybody that's on scene. Luckily, this is in April. If it was this April, it was mild out. It wasn't very hot. That wouldn't be so bad. If it turns to be a hotter day in the 70s or 80s, I mean, this is going to be very labor intensive standing around. Another thing I know we talked about, now I know Engine 1 has one. We can take that portable monitor that they have off of it, that hallway monitor. We can stick that in the front of the building, direct it up towards the ceiling, keep these bar joists cool. Probably if I would have thought about better planning on this, but more than likely if truck 1 was the second one to get on and was able to go to the front of the building, we could stick its aerial out, like you said, put the bucket down, shoot it up towards the ceiling. Any master stream devices that we got to put in this thing. Get some large hand lines off so we can keep the embers and everything flying around on this. Those are basically the main concerns that I had with the building itself. Staging this stuff right away to try and get us in the process of big water right away, I think is going to be big. If we know we're going to go for it, we need to set up for it early, so we don't have to get our engines in there, get water sources, hook up to the standpipe, and then all of a sudden have to move rigs around where we want. The main thing is I want to make sure that we have these trucks on opposite ends of the building and on different water sources supplying their own pumpers. Communications are going to be pretty tough for us. We're going to have to make sure that we use the incident command system. I got us into 2 divisions right now. If I called for another alarm, it would help me if I went in and made another division. If I go to ventilation, if the MVU shows up and I need it, and we put this thing out, I'm going to go into a ventilation group. I'm not necessarily going to have an interior group on this one. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be able to make entry on this structure. We're going to burn it down from the top side down. We just need to make sure that the crews that are on scene are actually contacting the group or the division leader that they're on, which would make radio traffic a lot easier. There's going to be a lot of people on scene, and radio traffic is going to be a bear if we do not monitor what we're doing here. As far as I can see, I've went off my template and that. Hopefully I've got everything, and I hope that I can actually get this to you and you can view it and you can let me know how it does. I'm also going to go back here and after this and do a couple other ones of and videotape myself on the house fire and make sure that I'm giving a little bit better of an initial size up. All right, thanks. Make sure you give me an A so I can get my half point, please.